सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः स्वयं धीराः पण्डितं मन्यमानाः जङ्घन्यमानाः पर्यन्ति मूढाः अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः। We are in the middle of this verse, not in the middle of avidya, that is those people. So middle of avidya, who is there? These people who thinks themselves to be very, very smart and without being smart. This is, see, there are two kinds of words. One is manitvam or manita. Manita means atmani pujyatva bhava. So this is the kind of a self-worshipfulness. Atmani means reflexive pronoun for oneself. Self-worshipfulness for oneself, meaning I am worshipful. Why? Because I have a high status, because I have so many accomplishments. This is called manita. Then the second one is dambha. Both of these are discussed in where 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Amanitvam adambhitvam, etc. So dambhita, what is that? Same thing. Feeling a lot of pride, but here the difference between manitvam and dambhitvam is what? In the first one there is actually something to be proud of, some accomplishment is there. In the second one, no accomplishments are there, still the person thinks I am the best. Here in this verse, avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha, they belong to the second category, not the first category. So both of them are prideful. See, the one who is a mani is also a prideful, one who is dambhi is also prideful. What is the difference? Mani has something that they can list. The manis can list. I know, I am a Chaturvedi, I know the Vedas, I know this, I have that, I have done this, I have done that, I have done a course in all these things. And then the Dambhi has nothing to show for it except a lot of hot air like a balloon. That's all it is. So that's the difference. And here Panditam Manyaha means without being Pandit. They are Panditam Manyaha. That is what, that sutra itself says, Atma Mane. So Akhash. So that sutra itself makes one pride oneself for no reason at all. There is no reason for pride, and then Panditam Manyaha. So Then we also saw the first word itself took a long time to unfold, because avidya means what? Ignorance. And what is its connection to this vidya? Opposed to vidya. We saw that. Opposed to vidya, not lack of vidya, avidya, not absence of vidya, because all these create long-term problems for us, and also they make sure that there is no moksha possible. If you take any other interpretation, moksha itself is not possible. So avidya has to mean what? Avidya has to mean only one thing and one thing alone, that which is opposed to knowledge. That means what? It is like Adi Shankara's favorite example, tamaf prakashavat viruddha svabhava. That is what it is. Viruddha svabhava, meaning wherever there is light, then can darkness be there? No, not at all. Darkness and light are opposed to each other, just like avidya and vidya are completely opposed to each other. So darkness and light cannot occupy the same place at the same time, because they are oppositional, they are diametrically opposed to each other. Now, if we understand this much, we can go a little deeper into what is darkness. What is darkness? So, what is darkness? We can't say absence of light, correct? And so, what is darkness? Then we start seeing that there is no such thing as darkness. Our favorite Kuppan story that was enacted a couple of 3-month courses ago for the cultural program. So, Kuppan was told, guests are coming, go put a lamp, put some, what is that, these big lamps where all the guest houses are, because we don't want them to be in the dark. Being a simpleton, Kuppan took the lamp on his head. Looked there, looked here, he could not find a single dark place to put the lamp, came back along with the lamp. So really speaking, darkness has no being. Really speaking, it has no being. Because what is the reality? That which is spirited away by light doesn't have a reality. So similarly, ajnanam doesn't have a reality. It is a dependent reality. Dependent on what? On one's buddhi, as long as the buddhi is not exposed to Vedanta. It has a certain kind of a anirvachya, dependent reality. Mithyatvam of ajnanam has to be understood. And then, so that is first thing, opposition to vidya, first thing we saw. Second thing we have to understand is the dependent nature of ajnanam, and that this ajnanam is not real, and you cannot say it is unreal because I say I have ajnanam and it is causing affliction. So it has a certain reality because it affects, but it is eminently removable, so it is not real. And then the third and perhaps the most important thing is this, that corollary to the second point, that it has a dependent reality. The third one is that ajnanam and error go side by side in the human buddhi. Ajnanam and error go side by side, meaning ajnanam cannot cause problems by itself. You see, in the case of dog also is what? Jnani or ajnani? Ajnani. Has dog studied Shastra? Not at all. It cannot study Shastra in that particular upadhi, in that particular name and form called dog. It cannot study Shastra. It has not studied the Shastra, and it has Atma Ajnanam, but still it is happier than all the people put together, as long as it's not abused and doesn't come under the radar of a shwapak. Shwapak means what? Eater of dogs. So if it escapes the dog catcher and dog eater, it is happy. Living its full life, it is happy. Can we say the same thing about the human being? Not at all. So that means what? The ajnanam has a morphing ability. It morphs into adhyasa, error. This is the third point about Atma Ajnanam we have to really understand. And if we have a foundation in these 3 points, then going forward every other text of Vedanta becomes very easy to decipher. And we start thinking like Adi Shankara, because this is exactly how Adi Shankara also goes along with. And we are very established in Vedanta. And to see, so this is the error, the ajnana remains alongside adhyasa, error. And why don't we just call it a mistake? Why are we calling it adhyasa? Because that error has the power of projection. I project that error, which is an offshoot of ajnanam. That error is projected onto myself, the Jagat, and Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara become the focus of this wrong and erroneous projection. Because if the error was there and I kept it to myself, still it is, it is only bothering me. But then it bothers everybody, because everybody is doing projection. So some projections are samanya, collective projections. Everybody says, why me? That is a collective projection. Even though it's happening individually, everybody agrees, there is support group. Why me? Support group will be there. So therefore, there is samanya. Certain other things are vishesha. Vishesha projections, individual projections, like there might be some psychological disturbance, and then one sees something that is not there. Those are all individual projections. We are only interested in what? Samanya projections, to remove that. So that's why we say Vedanta is dealing with garden variety neurosis, which everybody has, not psychosis. That is not the topic of Vedanta. That which is samanya. So this error is called adhyasa, because I project the infinite onto the finite, and then the opposite error is also there. I project the finite onto the infinite. This is anyonya, mutual projection is there. Atmani, it is called anatma adhyasa. So in the I, which is free of what? Time, space, incompleteness and limitations, I project what? Mortality. Aham martyaha is the conclusion. This is called Atmani. In the I that is free of everything, I project finitude. I say Aham martyaha. Martyaha means what? Subject to death. I am a mortal. Martyaha means mortal. See, mort and martya, same root. Yeah, even though it's English. Then Anatmani, Atma Adhyasa, the opposite error is also there. What is the opposite error? The opposite error is seeing the things in the Jagat and projecting them to be infinite when they are by nature what? Finite. This is the opposite. Anatmani, in everything that is anatma, I project finitude. House is permanent. Job is permanent. Marriage is forever. So that forever I look for in everything, and I make the mistake of thinking everything that is not forever by nature is actually forever. This is the problem. So many other forms of adhyasa are there, but these two are the main ones, the most commonly encountered one. That's why we are just touching upon this. So then adhyasa morphs, ajnanam morphs into error. Now, then we also saw yesterday, what is that? The philosophers in India, in ancient India, have written lot of treatises about this error. Books and books and books have been written. And there are 6 kinds of perceptual errors, all of which have some truth to them. Little bit of truth is there. Adi Shankara talks about it in his Adhyasa Bhashya, the opening Bhashya to this discussion of Brahma Sutra. And so, do you want to go over those 6 types of errors again? Yes? Okay. They are called Khyati Vada. Vada just means the kind of a mata, viewpoints. So, one is what? Sat Khyati. Everything is real, equally real. Jagat is real, heaven is real, what else is real? Jiva is real, Ishvara is real, everything is real, real, real. There is no differences. And then that is more or less subscribed to by who? Dualists. And then the opposite of that is what? Asat Khyati. What is Asat Khyati? Everything is unreal. Nothing is real. Even you, the one who says everything is unreal, is also what? Unreal. How? Don't ask. And we are not going into, we are just listing them to see the difference. To see the differences, it is good to know a little bit. We don't have to go in and do a PhD thesis on all of them. Okay? And then the third one is also a kind of a offshoot of the Buddha, ancient Buddhist viewpoint. What is that called? Atmakhyati. Atmakhyati is everything is unreal, but then you see everything as real. Why? Because whatever is in your head, in your heart, you are projecting it outside. They won't even say projecting, you are seeing it. Therefore, it is wrong. They don't have the concept of projection. They are saying that your mental images, your vrittis you are seeing, so therefore, that mental image you are seeing outside, and that is Atmakhyati. Yogachara, Madhyamikas, I think, they are the ones who do that. Huh? Kshanikavadis. Okay, Kshanikavadas and Madhyamikas also, no? The Madhyamikas, the first one, first Asadkhyati, yeah. So, Asadkhyati, and then these are the sparks of consciousness variety of Buddhist, ancient Buddhist thought. Everything is a spark. And then, and that one spark, how will it communicate with the other spark? If everything is a spark, I am ever fresh, ever new, but there is memory, they don't believe in memory. And how is the continuity? They are not able to understand that at all. And so this is what is called Atmakhyati. Then we have, what is that? Akhyati. Akhyati means what? No apprehension, no perception at all. And this no perception means what? It's all a memory. So the perception is due to memory. This is Purva Mimamsaka. That too, what is that? Prabhakara school, Prabhakara Mata. So this is what is called Akhyati, non-comprehension. That is the cause of the error. Non-comprehension is the cause of the error, because everything that you are perceiving is because of memory. And then finally, not finally, second last, what is that? Anyatha Khyati. Nayayika Vaisheshika Mata. And what is that? Anyatha Khyati means you are perceiving something here. You are perceiving a pencil here. The pen you are not perceiving. You are perceiving a small twig here. Why? Because you saw the twig fallen on the ground on the way to the classroom. So that twig is also real because it is there. We can go and see it. And this pen is also what? Real. So that twig seen over there is mistaken for this pen. That is the mistake. So that is also real. This is also real, except that memory of that twig you are seeing here. That is the mistake. They are all kind of coming close, more or less. They all have a certain reality, a certain truth, but they can be refuted. All of them can be refuted because they are missing the very center of our argument, which is the locus. The locus is either missing in all these discussions of the errors, or the locus is not properly understood. Locus means we should use now from now on the Sanskrit word. What is that? Adhishthana. Very good. The adhishthana is not understood, and if the adhishthana is not understood, the adhyasa becomes what? The discussion of adhyasa at best is just a temporary thing, fix. So especially in the second and the third one, that what is that? That Atmakhyati and Asatkhyati, there is no adhishthana at all. The adhishthana is not only not discussed, but it is absent. And then what do we say? We say that the misapprehension of the locus is the cause of error. This is anirvachaniya khyati, the Vedantic position. The misapprehension of the locus. It's not that you are seeing the locus somewhere where it's not. That is just a symptom. What is the moola of that? We have to see. The moola of that is that we are not understanding the locus. The locus has been misunderstood. It's not non-comprehension like akhyati, and it is not memory based like some other matas. It is not seen elsewhere. It is just that the locus is not understood properly for what it is. If you don't understand the adhishthana for what it is, what will you think of the adhishthana? As what it is not. That is the mistake. So we are not looking for the symptoms of the error, we are looking at the cause of the error. The moolam of the adhyasa is not understanding the adhishthana properly. Now, if the adhishthana is understood, there can be no adhyasa at all. If the adhishthana is totally understood, adhyasa, mistake, error is not possible. If the adhishthana is not at all understood, the non-apprehension of adhishthana also does not cause error, as we see in all other beings. Non-apprehension of Atma does not cause samsara for dogs, cats, etc. So what is the cause of samsara? The cause of samsara is the misapprehension, the incomplete or the wrong apprehension of the I. Adhishthana is I now. We have to convert the word adhishthana to I, because that is what the error is based on. The error is centered on what? Aham, I. So that aham alone is the cause of samsara when it is improperly grasped. Anyatha grahanam, when it is grasped for what it is not, samsara comes along with its brood of what? Jananam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. So jara mrityum apiyanti punah. So they keep going round and round in this. So this samsara has a long standing effect until this adhyasa is corrected. Correction of adhyasa, another point about this error, correction of adhyasa is not due to karma but due to atma jnanam. This is the final point. Correction of adhyasa cannot be accomplished by karma. Why not? What will karma give? Karma will give finite results. Karma will give only 4 kinds of outcomes. Only 4 kinds of outcomes are possible by karma. What is that? Janyam. Something is not there, you make it. Like you put a seed in the ground, pat it, put water, 3 days later there is a sprout. It wasn't there before. Somehow the contact with the earth and the nutrients in the earth transferring to the seed, the water making the seed grow big and splitting and coming out. This is janyam. And then also called utpadyam. And then what else is there? Vikaryam, modified. You can modify something. Like the kshiram, milk, kshira is modified into what? Dadhi, curds. You put a little bit of curd and shake it nicely, put it in a warm place, and then you have yogurt, ready-made yogurt. Then you cannot say, oh, how will I have my tea? I want it to turn back into milk. Not possible. This is vikarya, outcome of action. And then what else? Cleaning action, samskarya. Samskarya. What is that? Copper pot is the classic example, is the copper pot. What happens to the copper pot? Full of tarnish in this kind of a weather, humid weather, and what happens? It becomes brown in color, not shining, copper color is not there. Then you take some tamarind and rub, and the shine comes out for a little while. Then it goes back again. So vikarya, samskarya, and then what else? Reaching action. Like, I want a glass of water, but it's in the kitchen, in the other room. So I have to go there and then get it. I have to go there and get it. So this is the only 4 kinds of actions possible. 4 kinds of actions and 4 kinds of outcomes. That is the etavat. That alone is the limits of action. No other action is there. And then if we look at Atmajnanam, or the correction of error through karma, you cannot say utpadyam, janyam you cannot say. Why? Because it is never away from you. You cannot say Atma must be born. I have to produce the Atma. It's not a product. And then what else? Samskarya, vikarya again, gone. Why? Because it is never dirty to be cleaned. Samskarya, gone. It is never dirty to be tarnished. If Atma was tarnished by papa, punya, raga, dvesha, really speaking, then what would happen? You clean off the Atma, then raga dveshas collect again, then you clean off the Atma. That is what you will be doing. We are back to no moksha possible prasanga, anirmoksha prasangaha. Then vikarya also. Vikarya, you need 2 things to modify. Atma plus, what's the other thing? Nothing is there. Atma alone is nothing belonging to the same order of reality is there. You are forced to say Atma plus Anatma. That means what? I and my shadow will write a wonderful book. Is that possible? Even though there are people called shadow writers, that's different, okay? Don't go there. Yeah. Ghost writers, shadow writers are there, but here, don't go there at all. I and my shadow will write a book. Not possible. I and my shadow do not belong to the same order of reality. I and my shadow will have a party for our combined birthday together. Not possible. So vikarya is defeated. Vikarya is a karma that kind of a karma is not possible. 4 kinds of karma with only 4 limited outcomes are there, and none of them is applicable to Atma. And then finally what? Going. Gamyam, reaching action, going action is also not possible, because Atma is not in the other room. I kept the Atma in the other room. I have to go run from class, get the Atma so that I can focus on the class. Not possible. Where is Atma? Right here, right now, and everywhere at all times. So therefore, this Gamyam, that the final one, is not possible either. Therefore, the correction of the error, since the error is where? In the buddhi. The upalabdhi sthanam of this adhyasa, it is where? Buddhau. So buddhau upalabhyate. So in the buddhi alone it is found. In the buddhi alone it is found means what? Cognized. So where should be the place of correction? Where should be the place of correction? In the buddhi alone. Where the problem is, there only it should be corrected. The light bulb has gone off in your room. So what do? You are looking for something. You are looking for a small object like a needle. You are fixing something and the light bulb blew off. It's all dark. The needle dropped from your hand because of the sudden shock of the light going. And then you come to the ashram square where it is fully lit and you look for the needle. Why? Because in my room there is no light. Light bulb blew off. So therefore I am looking in a well lit place. This cannot be there. Where the problem is, there only the solution has to be. Where the problem is cognized, there only the solution also has to be applied. So the error is cognized in the buddhi, by the buddhi. So the knowledge takes place where? In the buddhi, but not by the buddhi. That is what is the beauty of this. In the buddhi, yes, the buddhi is the receptacle, a place where the adhyasa is received and misunderstood, and that misunderstanding causes samsaric problems. Buddhi is also the place where the Atma is recognized. Buddhi is the place where the Jagat is recognized. Jagataha upalabdhi sthanam. What is that? Buddhi. And Jagataha adhishthanasya upalabdhi sthanameva buddhischa. This buddhi has a twofold role. It is the place of cognition of the Jagat and it is the place of cognition of the I. You don't have a different buddhi. It would have been actually convenient if two buddhis were there. One buddhi for cognition of the Jagat, another buddhi of for the cognition of Ishvara as I. No mix-up possible at all. But unfortunately or fortunately, how many buddhis there are? One. Did I hear somebody say none? No. Okay. Yeah. One buddhi alone is there, and in that single buddhi serves as a receptacle for the cognition of the Jagat and serves also as a place where the Atma as I, Jagat Karanam Brahma, is recognized. There is a subtle difference. In the recognition of the Jagat, in the job of the recognition of the Jagat, the buddhi in its role as the cognizer of the Jagat has the status of being an agent. An agent of what? Knowledge of the Jagat. I perceive, the buddhi perceives, the buddhi is karta here. Karta, no, that's not a good word, jnata. Jnatritvam is there for the buddhi. The role of jnata is there. Jnatritvam is there. Or we can also say pramatritvam is there. I am jnata, I am pramata. Very important. So this jnata pramata role means the agent of the production of the knowledge. This is true of what? Aparavidya Vishaya. In matters of Aparavidya, the buddhi is the agent of knowledge, is the producer of the knowledge. It can recall, it can put two and two together, it can use all the pramanas at its behest. It can do anumana, it can do arthapatti, it can do all kinds of medical inferences, complex medical inferences, it can use upama, it can use anupalabdhi, all the pramanas. Of course, the pratyaksha is taken for granted. Based on pratyaksha only, all the pramanas operate. And using the pramanas, it comes out as what? The agent of knowledge, jnana kartru. And so, Janami iti. It has the status of Janami. That is me. The me in Janami means me. Okay? Yeah. Janami. And then, so this is with regard to the objects of the Jagat. But with regard to the truth of itself, it cannot be Jnana Kartru. It cannot be, in other words, Pramatru. Cannot. Why? Because there is a kartru karma virodha. Kartru karma virodha, object subject contradiction. What is the object of knowledge? Buddhi, the truth of the buddhi, the truth of the I. And then what is the subject? I. Who is the knower? I. Who is the known? I. There is a problem. But why is there a problem? Supposing there is an itch here. Some mosquito bit me here on the left hand. Correct? So the right hand can scratch the left hand. Kartru, karma. There is no virodha. See? Karta can be the same, karma can be the same. Karma means grammatical karma, object. Object can be the same, subject can be the same. This doesn't apply to Atmajnanam. Why? Because there are no parts. Here one body part is scratching another body part. The right hand is karta, left hand is what? Object of the karta, karma. Scratcher, scratched. But in the I, in the aham, in this Brahmatma, there is no parts. Partless Brahmatma. So you cannot say knower, the same thing, one part of why not we say one part of Atma is the knower, another part is known. Not possible at all. Why? Because there are no parts. So then how does the Atma, how is the Atma come to know? How do we come to know the I? We come to know the I actually is all knowledge. The buddhi is grasta, is affected by ignorance. So the buddhi is enlightened. The buddhi means mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittam, all of them are enlightened. The ahankara is lightened of the burden of thinking that it is karta, bhokta, pramata. The error that I am this much alone is dismissed, by which vritti jnanam is called atmajnanam. To which our fellows, let us now come back to the verse, come back to the mantra. Our fellows here, who are they? Vartamanaha, remaining where? Avidyayam antare. They do not know. They have various projections and they are variously deluded. And then the same mantra coming in the, where is that? The same mantra comes in the Kathopanishad, and there Adi Shankara says, Avidyayam antare means what? Ghanibhuta andhakare, Ghanibhuta iva tamasi, Vartamanaha, Veshtyamanaha. Vartamanaha means not just remaining, being surrounded by Veshtyamanaha, being completely wrapped up in the mass of tamas, mass of ignorance. And what is this mass of ignorance? Putra pashvadi trishna pashaihi badhyamanaha. They are tied up, completely tied up by what? Longing for people and followers, children, animals, because cattle was a form of money in olden days, animal wealth, all these things, lands, lokas, they are completely completely remaining there, means being bound by these kinds of things. So ghani bhuta tamasi. So this is what he says in the previous one. And then so putra pashvadi trishna pasha shataihi, what? Badhyamanaha, completely, because they are only interested in various means and ends. Various means and ends they are interested in. They are not interested in anything other than the lokas. And not only that, they have somehow become big leaders they have become. These are the people who are swayam dhiraha. Swayam dhiraha means what? They think that vayameva dhiraha. Swayam dhiraha means vayameva dhiraha. We alone are the best, east or west. These are what Adi Shankara will say, aviveka prayaha. Prayaha means mostly being in aviveka. mostly being in aviveka. So therefore what? They are committed to not Atmajnanam but various ideologies. This khyati, that khyati, all these things, little partial knowledges got from here, there, and then Upanishad they may hear little one word from there and they take it out of context and they unfold it exactly how they want. And not only do they not know, but they think they know. And when you have this aura of knowing without knowing, then you can always get 3-4 followers. Why 3-4? You can get 30-40 million followers easily. Why? Some charisma is needed. You have to change your voice. You can't talk normally like how we talk in Vedanta class. You have to say, moksha is very easy. Like that when you talk, it has that kind of a mesmerizing, hypnotizing quality, and then everybody says, oh, somebody who talks like this must be, what is that, Atmajnani. I can't even do that, but people do that. People do that, we have seen this. And so, Swayam deluded, Anyan, what? Deludayanti, yes. Yes. Deludayanti, new verb, 10th case, okay? Yeah. So Swayam deluded. They are themselves deluded, and not only that, that is itself a papa. To not have this Atmajnana is ghora papa, but then they commit further papa by taking everybody across the wrong road. And the Upanishad gives the very beautiful analogy, a common analogy, andhena eva niyamanaha. Niyamanaha, being led. So being led by what? By the blind. Who are the leaders? Blind. Who are the followers? Also achakshushkaha. They are also blind. And so, who do we blame here? Not the followers. Who do we blame? The leaders, because they know they are blind, but still they are leading others who don't know. And then what happens? You should hear Pujya Swamiji unfold this verse. Beautifully he would say, the leader goes in front, cannot see, but has a lot of charisma, aplomb, and just strides left, right, left, right, left, right. And then all the followers also go behind. The leader crashes, because the leader himself cannot see. The leader crashes into a thorny gooseberry bush. Yeah. And then what happens? All the other people also fall on the person, fall on the bush also, and then everybody gets up and removes all the thorns wherever they are pricking. So even if you cannot see the thorns, you can feel them. Through the clothes they are pricking. They are removing all the thorns. And the leader says, I saved you from a big calamity. Yes. This was your test, whether you would continue to follow this Shastra, whatever his own Shastra, or whether you will go away. This was a test of loyalty. You have all passed. Shabash. Congratulations. Let's go forward. And then what happens? There is a big pothole. In fact, and let us say, since we are just talking about it, let us make the pothole big. It's a ditch. Yes, big ditch is there. What happens to the leader? Yes, dhadam, falls. And then on top of him or her, all of the followers also fall. And the leader then says, see, I fell first so that I could take away your karma and you could all fall on me. Your fall was broken because I'm nice, fat and soft. And so on top of me you fell, so you did not get hurt. So like this, even life after life, such people will not come out of their non-seeingness of the truth, because they are following the wrong leaders. Poor things, they are also deluded, very badly deluded. Because see, what is the pit and what is the thorn? Thorny ideas. What are the thorny ideas? The heaven is eternal, very uncomfortable idea. It is like sitting on thorns. If eternity is away from me, how can it be limitless? If my presence is outside of this eternity, that eternity itself becomes finite, thorny idea. And ditch means what? Completely wrong idea. Totally the ideas that should be ditched. That is the kind of notions. What is the notion? By karma you will get moksha. Wrong. And just do this. By sitting quietly you will get moksha. By meditating you will get moksha. All these are the various ditches and thorns in which they are completely bound. To these ideas they are completely bound. And then, also they will not take help. Neither the leader will take help, nor the followers will take help. And so, Bhashya, avidyayam antare madhye vartamanaha aviveka prayaha. So, avidyayam antare, he converts to madhye, just to show. In the middle of avidya, they are stuck. Vartamanaha means remaining, engulfed. In the middle means you are totally surrounded and engulfed by avidya, and engulfed by aviveka, engulfed by immersing in wrong notions. And then suffering as a result. We should not forget that. Suffering as a result of the wrong notions. What are the wrong notions? I am incomplete. I am not okay. I am finite. I am subject to death. Nobody loves me. I don't love myself. All these things are the engulfing wrong notions because of avidya. So these people are avivekinaha. Aviveka prayaha means mostly given to aviveka. They are bound by aviveka. So then they don't know. They have complete misconceptions. So avidya, so what is this? Because of avidya, the avidya janya adhyasaihi, by all the misconceptions born of avidya, in the form of what? In the form of identifications with various koshas, the various loci, plural of locus, the various loci of mistakes, errors. I am as good as the body. Dehatma buddhi. I am as good as the prana. Prana, I am prana. And then I am as good as what I think. I am as good as my mind. This is a big delusion. Many people have that. I am as good as the mind. We are not able to observe the mind and separate oneself from the mind. And people who are professors, researchers, etc., they have a big premium on the mind. So if something small happens where they cannot think or whatever, then they get extremely discombobulated. There was this famous person who was a neuroscientist studying the brain, got a stroke herself. She knew she was getting a stroke. And the last thing she was able to do was call her mother, and before she fell unconscious. And so then the mother finally came, the mother had a key, then she called the doctor, etc. She was able to recover her faculties, but it was such a massive stroke that she was like a baby afterwards. Forget writing 7-8 books, she had to learn how to get up from the bed. She had to learn again how to walk, how to go to the bathroom, how to eat, all these things which babies from 0 to 2 years learn, she had to learn from that. But then that it took away the abhimana centered on the mind, it took away because of some punya operating over time. She was able to spiritualize this experience and see how actually it was very, very good for her. Her name is, what is her name? Jill Bolte or something, and Jill Bolt, and her book is called Bolt from the Blue or something like that. Very nice, reckoning. But how many people have this reckoning? Even after stroke, they will blame somebody. And they will say, it's called bolt from the blue, or a stroke of insight, something like that it's called. I forget the title, but very, very nice book it is. And so, how many people will, see this? Very few can see this. Even when something terrible happens, one has a stroke, one has some kind of paralysis, one will blame the stars, blame Bhagavan, blame the neighbor, blame somebody else, blame the childhood, and not learn from that at all. And so here, these are the people who will not learn from that. And so, mind is me, that is another locus of error. Then what else? Kartritva buddhi is one more locus of error. I am as good as karta. Then the final locus of error is what? Bhokta aham. I am as good as what happens to me. I am a victim of circumstances in my life. This is also a mistake. I am the agent of my actions. I am the recipient of other people's actions. This is all just completely wrong understanding. So avidyayam antare means living in this kind of a problem, these problematic notions. That's what makes them aviveka prayah, soaked in all these notions, marinated in the notions, like paneer tikka masala. Yeah, paneer doesn't have any taste, and those who are vegans will make tofu tikka masala. Okay, so you marinate something that is bland, like paneer or tofu, in some nice spicy things. It has to sit there. So like this, these people are marinated in adhyasa of all kinds. Very difficult to come out of it. If you later say, I want the paneer, but without the masala, even if you wash the paneer under running water, that masala will be there. So similarly, these people are very difficult to come out. Why? The next line will tell us that. Swayam vayameva dhiraha dhimantaha panditaha vidita veditavyaha cha iti manyamanaha atmanam sambhavayantaha. Very good bhashya, easy also. Swayam means what? Not you, themselves. Vayameva, we are, they are saying. Swayam dhiraha, they are saying. So what are they saying? Vayameva dhiraha, they are saying. We ourselves are dhiras. What are dhiras? Dhimantaha, dhiman, dhimantav, dhimantaha. We are plural. So we are all buddhiman. Buddhiman means we have great buddhis. We are great indeed. And then that means what? Panditaha. Panditaha, we already saw. Panda asya stiti. Panditaha. So panditaha iti manyamanaha. Panditam manyaha. That's the word. Panditam manyamanaha. So panditaha iti manyamanaha. So what is this panditaha iti manyamanaha? Adi Shankara says vidita veditavyaha. So viditani veditavyani yaihi, by whom everything to be known is what? Already known. So they think. We shouldn't say they are all knowers. No. So they think. Manyamanaha. They think like this. What do they think? Viditaha, whatever is to be veditavyaha, to be known, whatever there is, we know. It is known to me. Like that they think. And then, so what is the Panditam Manyaha means what? Atmanam Sambhavayantaha, self-worshipful. So they say Atmane Namaha, and they put flowers on themselves as it were. They are doing the puja of themselves. Or the 16th chapter is replete with Asuri Vritti, the discussion of such people. What is that? There is one nice verse. Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitaha mohat grihitva asadgrahan pravartante ashuchivrataha. 10th verse. Yeah. So what is that? Kamam ashritya dushpuram. Dushpuram means difficult to fill up. Difficult to fill up. Why? Because the kama is keeping on reproducing itself. Dushpuram kamam ashritya, resorting to or being addicted to all kinds of wrong kamas which are unfulfillable desires, unfulfilled desire. And then what? Mada dambhamana samanvitaha, completely engulfed in dambha and mana, prideful thinking. Mohat asatgrahan grihitva, catching hold of asat. What will their life be? Catching hold of anatma, what will their life be? Completely asat only. Completely asat. Non-existent life, as good as a non-existent life. They catch hold of samsara and they just are trying to revel in samsara and making other people also try to revel in samsara. Pravartante means they remain. Who? Ashuchivrataha. Not Shuchivrataha, there is a elision of, what is that? Akara. Engaf padanta dati. So there is a elision and means a dropping of akara is there. So pravartante plus Ashuchivrataha. Who are these Ashuchivrataha? Committed to. Vrata means commitment. Committed to all kinds of impure life. Full of papa, impurities, all kinds of impurities. And the life itself is impure because their whole life commitment is impure. Then what? Techa janghanyamanaha jara rogadi aneka anartha vrataihi hanyamanaha Bhrisham pidyamanaha pariyanti vibhramanti mudhaha darshana varjitatvat. So darshana varjitatvat pariyanti. The hetu is given here, darshana varjitatvat. This Tikakara will point out darshana varjitatva, the darshana varjitatvam is the cause of vibhramanam, is the cause of roaming around aimlessly. Darshana varjitam is complete absence of vision, meaning having the wrong understanding, not having the vision of the Atma without division. Not having the vision of no division, therefore they roam around in the world of samsara. In the Kathopanishad mantra, it is not janghanyamanaha, it is dandramyamanaha. Dram, dramati, first, what is that called? Conjugation, first conjugation. So, frequentative usage. Young pratyaya, frequentative means frequently roaming around in their world of error. That is what it is. First conjugation, parasmaipadi, dramati. So, dramati means what? Roams. So, dram plus dram, and then dandram plus muk plus shanach. So, dandramya manaha. Always roaming around, permanently roaming around. And Adi Shankara, describing that in the Kathopanishad verse, will tell us something very interesting. He will say, Kutilayam gatau. So the gati itself is wrong. Crooked path is the gati, crooked is the gati, wrong is the gati, samsara gati, crooked gati. For the crooked gati, what kind of path? Crooked path. Crooked end, crooked means. By hook or crook, they want to establish their parampara and they want to stay in that and then delude other people also with that. But here it is janghanyamanaha, repeatedly killed. Repeatedly killed means what? Janmani, Janmani, in every birth, killed, died, born, one meaning. Second meaning is Bhrisham Pidyamanaha, repeatedly, frequentively and intensely also, because this is also intensive frequentative usage. And so frequently killed means tormented, Pidyamanaha, tortured by what? By all their wrong thinking. Torturous road, repeatedly falling into pits and suffering from the ills of samsara, because their premise itself is wrong, and plus they have lot of dambha, mana, etc., and they are deluding people, so they are repeatedly they are pidyamanaha, tormented by papa effects, papa karma they are doing, they are getting papa also. How? Jara rogadi aneka, jara rogadi, because old age, disease, all these come, they don't know why. And then aneka anartha vrataihi, vrata means group, a host of all kinds of useless things. Aneka, many and varied and useless wrong effects of this samsara, afflicted, repeatedly afflicted. Bhrisham means intensely, intensely afflicted by this, by their karma phala. Pariyanti, pariyanti means what? Aimlessly wander. Very interesting, the dhatu bhram, which means to wander, is also the same dhatu for delusion. Yeah, bhrama means delusion. So, pariyanti, vibhramanti, Adi Shankara remembers this. Who? Modhaha. Modhaha means what? Darshana varjitaha. Darshana varjitatvat, pariyanti, vibhramanti, they are on a wrong road. They roam from place to place, and they go from loka to loka in between lives, and even in this life they try this thing and that thing, they try one thing or the other thing to keep the followers going. And then they see what the followers are into, and they change their teaching also accordingly. And then they will say, oh, the leader got a great insight, the leader now thinks this is the path to the future, picks up on some familiar or whatever is popular topic, abandons the previous one because they were losing followers. So in this way they go from life to life. How? Andhenaiva, achakshushkenaiva, niyamanaha, pradarsyamana margaha, yatha loke andhaha, akshirahitaha, gartakantadau patanti, tadvat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.